What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is referee Steven Dumeng, literally in referee attire. I just refereed at WrestlePro a few hours ago. Made my way back from an amazing show. Had such a great time, and I am now here. I had to re-record. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, I actually am doing this at like 5 in the morning, and I haven't slept, but I'm doing it because I love it. And our good friends at 1495 Sports. Always got to support them. Always got to give them the content. That's what we're going to do. UFC 311 picks happening right now. Let's get down to business. But yeah, actually, really quick. I recorded another one of these, and the whole card shifted in like the weigh-ins rather. And yeah, let's get back to the card. Well, I guess the new version of UFC 311, the last minute edition. But we still have an amazing card ahead of us, and we have a lot to look forward to. Moving on, we have, moving on, let's get started. The middleweights are in action. Opening up the main card, we have the Trailblazer Kevin Holland, 26-12, looking to get back on track against Reiner de Ridder, a guy who is someone that's touted as a huge addition to UFC, and he comes from one fighting championships. And he has already successfully debuted in the UFC with a second round submission over Gerald Meerschaert. And was it second or third? I'm always unsure, dog. I'm always going to those guys. Great website. 2-fight win streak. It was actually a third round. I stand corrected. But that said, he stopped a very seasoned game opponent in Gerald, and now he's looking to get another seasoned veteran here. Get another win over, I should say. Kevin Holland, who has looked, unfortunately, pretty rough around the edges these last few fights. He's 2-3 in his last 5. Unfortunately, a very entertaining fighter and someone that is always bringing it. That said, I think Reiner is just going to be too much for Kevin Holland to handle. Holland has lost a number of times in his last few fights. I don't think it's going to change with Reiner. I think Reiner will be getting the submission. I'm going with Reiner de Ridder by submission, round 2. Kevin's got some hands. He's certainly got power. He's got 14 wins by knockout. If the fight stays on the feet, he could possibly tag de Ridder. I don't see that happening. I think there'll be a feeling out process. De Ridder will be able to get him to the ground the second round for a submission. We see here Reiner has 12 submission wins. So yeah, I'm going with Reiner there. Very likely that he takes this opening contest on the main card by submission the second round. Moving on, we have some heavyweight action. These two gentlemen were promoted to the main card, and arguably this fight should honestly just been on the main card to begin with. But we have Gelatin Almeida against Sergey Spivak. Gelatin having bounced back from a second round stoppage loss to Curtis Blades with a first round rear naked choke win over Alexander Romanov in June of last year. And I felt like that was yesterday. He hasn't fought in some time. But prior to that, he was on a hell of a winning streak, and he was 6 fights deep into the division with wins until he met Curtis Blades and was stopped. And he's looking to get back on track against Sergey Spivak, who has actually been pretty consistent. 4-1 in his last 5, only losing to Cyril Gane, which is certainly nothing to be ashamed of by any means. And that was a second round stoppage. Let's see. I mean, these guys are going to be grappling. I definitely feel Almeida is one of the best grapplers in the UFC heavyweight division and submission fighters in that specifically. And will he get the submission? I mean, he has 13 submission wins. Spivak has never been submitted. That is a very interesting stat. He has a mix of wins by submission and knockout, 7 and 8 respectively. No, actually, it would be strike that, reverse it. That said, who is going to win this fight? pretty tough one, especially when it comes to heavyweights, but I am going to go with Almeida. I think he will get a unanimous decision win. I don't think he'll be able to get submission. I think he'll be looking for a submission the whole fight, using his submissions, or rather his submission wrestling game plan. I feel like he's going to utilize here, be able to get down Spivak and try to get control, and I think it'll be more of a defensive fight. I mean, these guys both have knockouts. I mean, under their belts, so certainly can stand and bang. However, I don't see that happening. I think it's going to be more of a grappling heavy fight. I think we're going to go with Almeida by unanimous decision as he bounces back. Moving on, we have light heavyweights in action. We have Jiri Prochazka, 35-1 against Jamal Hill, 12-2. Both these men, ironically, trying to bounce back from losses to Alex Pereira, who actually stopped both these guys in the second and the first round, respectively, last year. And Jiri, outside of his losses to Alex, has looked like a killer out there. And even then, I feel like he was throwing everything in the kitchen sink at Alex as much as he could. And Pereira is certainly, a Greaves full-time fighter for a reason. That said, Jiri is looking to get back on track. He is currently 3-2 in the UFC. Again, both those losses to Alex Pereira. Speaking of trying to bounce back, we have Hill, who's coming off that first round knockout loss to Pereira. He was on a 4-fight win streak prior to that. Who is going to get back on track? Sweet dreams. Mr. Hill does not have any wins by submission. He has 7 knockouts, 5 decisions. Jiri also not one to shy away from the knockouts. 26 wins by knockout in his 30 wins. That is 87%. Is someone getting knocked out in this fight? You can almost damn well guarantee that there is going to be a knockout. And who's going to knock who out? Honestly, either of these guys have the power to knock each other out. I definitely think that's certainly the case. Who is going to do it? I think Jiri is going to tag Hill in the second round. These guys are going to throw some hands. There's going to be some fireworks. I wouldn't be surprised if Jiri gets tagged and almost finished, but then he seals the deal in the second round. We're going with Jiri, second round TKO. And that will be our light heavyweight fight. We have our first title fight of the evening. Merab Dvalishvili, I butchered that one, against Umar Nurmagomedov. And 18-0 for Umar, and Merab 18-4. Merab on a ridiculous win streak. He has a slew of top-tier wins, champions on his resume. It's insane the streak he is on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 fight win streak. I was one of those guys that called it perfectly that he was going to take the title away from Sean O'Malley by unanimous decision, no less. I called that one perfectly last year. Bow. Pat in the back for that one. That said, we have him defending his championship against the undefeated fighter, Nurmagomedov, a last name very familiar, synonymous with MMA in my opinion at this point, obviously for obvious reasons. That said, will he be able to make it 19-0 and take the title? This is one tough fight to call, ladies and gentlemen. Umar has looked like a monster. So has Merab. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fight win streak going in the UFC. This is, in my opinion, a real big toss-up. We can see, I could see Merab getting a very defensive, controlling, wrestling-heavy fight and scoring a unanimous decision, or I could see Umar tagging Merab and getting the finish. This is a really tough call here. Do we go in still? Do we go in new? What do we do? This is a very tough one to call. I'm going to go with Umar by split decision. I mean, he's only, of his 18 wins, he's dead even. He's finished half of them. Merab, extremely durable. I mean, he's only been stopped once in his career, and that was a submission loss. Other than that, he has only sustained decision losses, and I think this is, again, what judges will be. Actually, I believe Chris Leben, UFC fighter, former UFC fighter, will be one of the judges on the cards, the card tonight, and I believe, hopefully, he's involved with the judging of all these fights. Because let's be honest. That said, Merab has again also gone to the scorecards 14 times in his wins. He's gotten scorecards 17 times total in his career. So, yeah, of his 18, 14 decision wins. Who will get it? I mean, this is definitely going to go to the cards. I don't see a finish happening. I think we will see hashtag and new. I'm going Umar by split decision. A very, very tough fight to call. Could see it literally leaning either way. In the main event, our brand new main event for the lightweight championship, with Islam Makhachev stepping up on extreme short notice. Renato Carneiro, 25-1. He was scheduled to initially face off with Beneil Dariush. He will not be. He will now be fighting for the championship. Islam looking like a complete monster on a ridiculous win streak. He has not lost in 2024. What year are we in? 24 or 25? Is it 2025 yet? 24. I probably should get some sleep, ladies and gentlemen. I tease. Nearly 10 years. And it is wild. I mean, we have not seen him lose since, what was that, his second UFC fight. It's quite something to see with Mr. Merab. And we are, man, I really should get some sleep. We are in 2025. Look at that. I'm literally checking my calendar. Oh, man. So that said, we have, I don't even know. Islam, I'm sorry. Okay, let's start that one from the top really quick. Islam Makhachev on fire, 26-1. He's been looking fantastic against Carneiro. Lightweight action, guys. He's stepping up on short notice. Now, I know the year. Let's get back to business. I mean, a ridiculous win streak for Islam. Carneiro also riding a win streak. I believe 4-fight win streak. Yes, 4-fight win streak. You know, anything can happen in MMA. You know, you never know what can happen. It's just literally anything can happen. Will he get the job done? Unfortunately, I don't see it happening. He's 35 years older in lightweight action. When the older you are, it's like magnified. It's intensified. Is intensified a word? It's like fighting like 20 years more in the lighter weight classes. In the heavier weight classes, you can go into like 40s as we've seen. But that said, with the lighter weight classes, it's a bit harder. At least I'm going by statistically. That said, will Carneiro get it done? I don't see it happening. I think Islam will get the stoppage. I'm going with Islam Makhachev to retain, and still I'm going to go with him by, I think he'll get a second round submission. I think he's going to really dominate that first round, secure the finish submission, in round 2. But yes, those are my picks. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll hopefully be live tweeting, live posting as the card unfolds. Thank you so much. Again, big shout out to our good friends at 1495 Sports. This is referee Steven Dumeng. First time calling this. That's actually, I'm a pro wrestling referee, but I love MMA. So, but yeah. All right. That is it for tonight. Enjoy the show, guys. I will talk to you very soon. Thank you so much. Bye.